Yo, 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 word is bond. Peace, family. Ashe, ashe, ashe. To all my divine beings, 90th the goddesses and gods. This build is going to be about the great mother energy, Hathor and Auset. Ashe, let's get it. Let's go back in time, or should we say, back to the future. So when we're talking about the great goddess energy, we have to remember these lost civilizations, right? Or these fifth dimensional universes, right? Things like Lemuria, Atlantis, the Amazonian stages, right? Rediscovering ourselves, right? Which is a journey to wholeness through the age of Aquarius Ascension Gateway, right? Through the womb, 90th womb. In the midst of spiritual history, the names Lemuria and Mu, it echoes right throughout time, calling to us from truth, a time and place and space where the world was bathed in primordial light, true light, and harmony, primordial chaos and darkness, working in synergy. And when the inhabitants of Earth, of Tiamat, were deeply connected to the divine in line with the rhythm of nature, family. The ancient land of Lemuria is often pictured as a utopian paradise, right? And it's known to have existed for thousands of years before this eon. Lemuria represented a golden era of elevated consciousness, family, where 90 beings of radiant light walked the earth, united in their purpose to nurture the planet and each other. We need to get back to that, family, because today, as the world experiences many initiations and challenges, and we transition from the age of Pisces into Aquarius, so we have to get back to that, family. Many are feeling drawn to being reconnected with the Lemurian energies. And again, these are fifth density and higher, right, civilizations. Way higher than the fifth dimension, family. 33rd dimension plus, right? If you feel the call, if you've been feeling these calls of the ancient voices, right? You may have been a Lemurian, and we know we are, family. Undoubtedly a light worker, undoubtedly a dark magi priest, right? Or priestess, right? The 9-ether God embodied, manifested in the flesh, spirit and soul, chaotic beings, primordial, divine, in origin. But even the divine ones lost their memory. Lemuria fell, Atlantis fell, right? In frequency. We were in a war with the Anunnaki. Marduk specifically, which is Anu's son. The Anunnaki waged war on Tiamat, using shadow tech, ancient technology, false light structures, false light stream demiurges, nodes, voice, AI, quantum computing technology, black ops and neural mapping. Now, this attack was truly on the divine mothers, right? Which mimics the voice of the divine. And the goddesses on the planet right now mimics the voice of the divine, right? Heart resonates in 0-point fields, the heart of the mother, the center of the earth. The truth. The fall of Atlantis ended up turning into incarnational fragmentation. The flame crystal was destroyed into shards. This is the goddesses, her energy. The great mother Tiamat's flame crystal was broken into 144,000 shards. In every shard, her voice was harmonic. It resonated there within the crystalline tech, shattered all over the universe. We're talking about a sacred sacerdotal withdrawal of energy. She withdrew her frequency because these beings violated the crystal flame temple, fell out of harmony with the great mother. Distortion was winning. This was the son coming for the mother, essentially. This is a universal story that's not really told. Only the goddesses truly embody this. Her sacred symphonies, when the goddesses speaks as one, the frequency of the planet rises. And that's what we're seeing now. The resurrection of the 9-ether goddess, who is the mother of God, right? The soul of man, right? The gods. There is no man without woman. Always understand that. When these fifth dimensional civilizations like Atlantis began to fraction, her voice was silenced. The clash was imminent. The misuses of the crystal technology that was fracturing timelines, the rose grid, the planetary dragon ley lines, it had a lot to do with the fall of the memory loss. Our mother still sacrificed herself for us. She began to encode herself in the energetic grid, right? She went into a stasis, not cryogenics. It's a spiritual preservation where we used to practice sacred meditative states, and we can go into different timelines, or we can ascend, right? So the great mothers descended to stargates, right? Carrying the templates of codes that she passes down to her 9 ether daughters, right? The mothers of the cosmos of this Tiamat, Big Mama energy, right? The goddess is the melanated goddess from America, right? They carry the templates and codes. The ocean carries coded crystalline structures of the great mother Tiamat, right? Crystal tech, right? Rose coded in the hearts and wombs of the goddesses and the guardians as well, right? Echoes divinely melanated soul force power energy. Overstand, we're talking about the Kundalini energy, the Sekhmet energy, right? Primordial chaos, right? Heru, also known as Oshun, right? Nebhet, the cow goddess, right? Lakshmi, right? Let's get into the goddess Sekhmet, right? Heru. Her colors are green and yellow. Temple of Dendera found temples in her own statues, right? The goddess of beauty, relationship, fertility, right? And she loves honey, right? She's represented honey in the pineal gland, the solar force energy, the golden energy, the sweet waters, right? The original vampire energy comes from the Sekhmet, the goddess, right? The original Neteru, right? The pantheon of the Kemites, the goddess Heru, right? The cow goddess. You understand? Hathor, right? Her herbs that she resonates with: yellow roses, honeysuckle, calendula flowers, maiden's hair, parsley, spearmint. Her oils: rosewood, sandal, cinnamon, honeysuckle, incense, right? Planets: Venus, right? Venusians, right? The daughters of Hathor, the mothers of Hathor, the embodiment of Hathor, Heru. Her seven is her sphere, right? God, right? God frequency, 7. She's associated with the number 5, which is the quintessential element or the ether, right? 5-point star, neutrinos, right? Understand that this goddess energy represents the balance of Mayat, right? All polarities, right? And these are all traits that you can find in the 9 ether goddesses, right? The embodiment, the power, the true divine source, right? Because like I said, this energy is directly connected to the goddess, right? And her sphere is directly connected to the sphere of the universe, the black hole, right? The dark matter energy, right? They are the existence before existence, right? They are the nothingness within the existence, right? Tachyon energy, tachyon particles, right? They are the ultimate frequency that makes up the base form, right? The carbon, they are that, right? We embody our great mother's energy, our great mother's power, right? Being the gods, the generators, the operators, destroyers of all omniverses, of all universes, of all triverses, of all of the trilateral sphere, right? Any dimension, any plane, any universe, any galaxy, right? We are the supreme creators and divine ones, right? We are the ones that emerge as light beings, illuminated beings through our mother's womb, right? And the goddesses in this planet right now, in this dimension, they are quantumly aligning, they are recalibrating this sphere. They are the true epitome of the vibrational rays, right? The separation that creates oneness, right? Because the goddess literally separated herself into 144,000 pieces of crystalline frequency throughout the galaxy when her sun, right, went against her, right? When the frequencies started, when the universal frequency became imbalanced, right? So, like I said, the great mother was hurt, so you can see that's where they get the mirror, right? The reflection. The reflection that we are of our mother is literally her hurt, her pain. We embody this, right? That's why it's so easy to have our ups and downs as far as a vibrational move, right? But with that comes the responsibility to awaken, right? To rise, to remember who we are, and this is what we are doing right now. So always remember, I always want to give love to my 9 ether mothers, because at the end of the day, I am you, right? So I love you all, 9 ether beings. Let's continue to raise the vibration and ascension. At the end of the day, family, know who you are. Remember who you are. Ashe Heru, Ashe Auset, Ashe Sekhmet. Peace, 98 the beings. Love.